This week on Deep in Bear Country, we are going to do something that people have been expecting me to do for quite a long time. That's right. This week, we are going to meet... Welcome back to Deep in Bear Country, a Berenstain Bearcast. I am your host, Phil Gonzalez, and you may be wondering, Phil, where's all the spooky dookie this week? Where's all the ghosts and goblins? Where's all the skeletons and witches? Well, here's the deal. I only have so much Halloween coverage this year, and I want to save a little bit of it till it's closer to the holiday. Don't worry, we've got recipes coming up. We've got more cookbookery happening. You're going to get to see the products of my kitchen expertise as I follow the holiday cookbook. So don't worry, that's coming up. It's Halloween themed, regardless of what the cookbook says. The cookbook says it's fall themed, but don't worry about that. Put that in the back of your mind. This week we're going back to basics. This week we are going to finally learn who comprises the family members of the Berenstain Bears. That's right. This week's book is 2021's Meet the Berenstain Bears. It's Meet the Berenstain Bears. It's a board book, and more confusingly, it's what's known as a tabbed board book. If you look at the cover, you'll see the faces of several of our favorite bears around the sides, the top and the right hand side of the book cover. That's not just photographs. That's actual tabs, so you can easily find your place in this book. If you're like, I need some quick information on Grizzly Gramps, no problem. You open the Grizzly Gramps tab, there it is. Now, is this something you'll need to do? Probably not. Because this is a board book for little babies. It's a little baby board book. I don't actually understand the purpose behind it. I could ask Mike. I wonder why they made this. Was it just something quick to do? It's an odd. It's not that odd, but it does seem like what a weird 2020 was 2021 the year that they were like, all right, we're gonna need to start doing some in-depth guides for readers. Let's start with the basics. Who are the 8 main characters? Well, who are 8 of the main characters in the Berenstain Bears universe? Because this isn't all of the You're not going to find Mayor Honeypot here. Raffish Ralph is not going to show up. Officer Marguerite, nowhere to be found. Police Chief Bruno, nah. Lizzie Bruno, certainly not. Babs Bruno, absolutely not. Squire Grizzly, can't find him. Even Big Paw, where is he? Not a member of the family, I guess. So this is a board book, 2021 board book, original material, but it's its own thing. It's its own thing. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. I guess what we'll look at today, if you're interested, what we're going to look at today is just sort of how it presents each of these characters based on what we've known about them, what we know about them, what we've learned about them over the last 9.5 years, assuming you've been with me for 9.5 years. Oh, and by the way, if you're having trouble listening to older episodes of the show, that's because they don't exist as of now. They don't exist anymore. I may very well have lost every single episode of this show, and we could be starting from scratch. So you know what? We could be starting from scratch. This may very well be the first episode of the new Deep in Bear Country, so what better the way to start over again than Meet the Berenstain Bears? Don't worry, I'll let everybody know. I'm not going to let anybody know if the episodes are available again. If the episodes are available again, and you'll find out by going to look for them. It's a nightmare. It's a real nightmare. So, but you know what? Inside every rotten goose is a golden egg, as the saying goes. So let's take a look at this week's golden egg. That's right. Let's take a look at 2021's Meet the Berenstain Bears. And as you can see, because it's a board book and it's only available in board book format. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm having to go the old-fashioned route and show it on a side camera, like I used to try to do with other books. But this one's just... You don't get the full effect unless you're looking at it in 3 dimensions, because the tabs on the side are raised. Listen to this. You can hear the tabbing. You can hear the tabbing as you run your fingers up and down the tabs. So, Meet the Berenstain Bears. A nice little picture of our nuclear family on the cover. Of course, Honey gets front and center because she's small. And so they have to give her front and center. But let's see what this book is about. spoilers, it's not about anything. It's literally Meet the Berenstain Bears. What is in this book? Well, our first spread is your favorite and mine, Mama Bear. She's a good mom, according to the book. She takes care of the family. She manages the house, the tree house, sorry. And the only real personality traits it gives her is, well, not even personality traits, it just mentions that she loves her garden, true, and she sews beautiful quilts, also true. But there's other things we know about Mama, right? We know other things about Mama Bear. She's a soccer coach, right? She's the most athletically inclined adult in bear country. So there's that. She doesn't suffer fools gladly. She gets furious at messy rooms. She is sort of the voice of reason in the older books, and today she's just kind of interchangeable with Papa, I guess. She has her own business, that quilt making business. I mean, I guess it still exists. Does good in town, I assume. But that's it. We don't really learn much about Mama. It really domesticates her. I wish it had gone out of its way a little bit to show a little bit more of what Mama does around town. She's a decision maker. She's a leader. She's run for a city council and won. So she's an active member of her community. She does more than tend her garden and make beautiful quilts. Not that there's anything wrong with being a gardener and a quilt maker. Like, that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying there's more to Mama than I guess they could cover, and by they I mean Mike, in this book. But it's a nice picture of Mama sewing her quilt outside amidst the gardenry. We see giant pumpkins and tomatoes. It's actually a pretty good garden, Mama. Thumbs up to Mama. So the next page is, of course, Papa. And we just grab the tab here. We want to see Papa. We just grab the Papa tab. There we go. We see him outside splitting wood on a stump with his little hand hatchet. I don't think this is proper wood safety, by the way. Here we go. I don't think this is proper wood safety. He's gripping a piece of wood from like just 3 inches from the top, and he looks like he's about to swing an axe at it. Cut his fingers clean off. He's going to lose a thumb at least. I don't know. It doesn't look like good axe handling, Mr. Papa Bear. His tongue is stuck out. It's not a flattering photo. What does it say? Meet Papa Bear. He's a good dad. Obviously. He cares for... I'm bad at this. How do I do this? Yes. He cares for his family. He's a fine crafts bear. He makes things from wood. He works hard fixing up the treehouse. And that's true. So I guess that's what we're seeing him do here. We're seeing him... There's a ladder leaning against the treehouse. It looks like he might be fixing a shutter on the treehouse. I see a broken shutter on the ground, piece of wood, a ladder leading up to the front door, which is weird because there's clearly stairs leading up to are the stairs unsafe? I don't understand what's happening. What are you fixing, Papa? What are you making on the treehouse? As far as it leaving out any personality traits of Papa, it doesn't. Papa doesn't have any personality. No, it doesn't. It doesn't say like he is a fool who screws up a lot. No, it's not true. What do we find out about Sister Bear? Let's open the sister tab. It says she's a happy, lively cub. True enough. She likes to ride her bike. Yes, we see a whole book about that. She didn't used to have a bike. This is Brother's old bike. When she wished she had Brother's new bike. That was in the Green-Eyed Monster. She likes to play games with baseball and soccer. She has a lot of friends, including Frog, Turtle, and Butterfly, which is interesting. Frog and Butterfly, yes, I'm familiar with them. Turtle is an interesting addition. Frog and Butterfly, sometimes Ladybug, are like creatures that follow Sister around and are part of her like friend group. I find it interesting that Mike has gone back to the animal well as opposed to saying like she's best friends with Lizzie Bruin. Why not use this as an opportunity to introduce Lizzie Bruin to the story? I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. It's just it's a callback to a more simple time when Sister was just friends with the animals, which was the premise of The Trouble with Friends. Before Lizzie Bruin moved in, Mama and Papa were worried that her only friends were animals. Now we're shown as a good thing. Getting back to basics. Getting back to our neo-agrarian society where we chase the animals out of Beartown because they weren't bears. You can only stay if you weren't sentient, I guess. Then it's Brother. He's older than Sister. True enough. These are not lies. It's not a lion book. He always looks out for her. Does he? I don't know if I would say that Brother always looks out for Sister. I think I might be stretching it a little bit. He's around but I wouldn't say I see him looking out for her. He's a little bit of a decision vacuum, if we remember from the chapter books. Brother has trouble making decisions. Frequently bad things happen because Brother was so busy trying to work out the best plan of attack that he didn't do anything. So always looks out for her. I don't know. I guess if someone was like, I was going to say bullying her, but we saw what happened there. He just taught her how to fight. I guess that's a way of looking out for someone. He likes skateboarding, building model planes, and going fishing. That's fine. He's also high anxiety. His brother has high anxiety. I would say I would paint him as high anxiety, hard decision maker, loving cub, good guy. Don't really understand, his like dating situation. Is he still dating Bonnie Brown, or is he not? Is he even interested? I don't know why he wouldn't be. Brother. In any case, what's next? Oh, Honey Bear. What can you even say about Honey Bear? Let's find out. Well, she's the youngest. She's called Honey because she's so sweet, which is not true. She's called Honey because that was her name. They didn't know how sweet she was when she was born. She could have been a nightmare. She could have been like the movie Problem Child, featuring Problem Child. Like, she could have just been a terrible... she's not named Honey because she's sweet as honey. She's just named Honey because that was the name they chose. Again, why would you name your child after your prominent food source? That'd be like me naming my child Bread. Honey may be the youngest in the family, but she's good at keeping up with brother and sister. And that's really all we know. And then, you know what? I would say that's probably about as much as you need to know about Honey. She's youngest. She can still keep up. She knows how to walk now, and she can sort of talk. That's Honey. Mazel tov, I guess. And there's a cute photo of the cubs running, and Honey huffing and puffing to keep up. It's a cute picture. I like seeing Honey put in a little extra work, a little extra effort. We all love Honey. I think everybody who listens to this show, I think everyone who watches this show on YouTube can agree, Honey Bear, everybody's favorite Berenstain Bear. Next page, Grizzly Gramps. So this is the interesting. So outside the nuclear family, we're getting to Grizzly Gramps and Gran. He's the Cubs' grandfather. Doesn't mention whose father he is. It doesn't say he's Papa's papa, which I find interesting. Why are we hiding that? Why wouldn't we mention he's the Cubs' grandfather and father's father? I don't know. It says he likes to make his grandcubs laugh, which is, again, something I've never really thought of as being one of his dominant personality traits. He does magic tricks for them and plays the kazoo. That's not what I think of at all when I think of Grizzly Gramps. I think of a man who's kind of grumpy, who writes a lot of letters to the editor, who makes ships in bottles and complains a lot and tries to protect like the it's all about he's a heritage guy. He's really concerned about like the old scratching tree and, preserving those statues that they keep wanting to tear down. I think of Grizzly Gramps as that way. He's the guy who, like, yelled at his wife because she wanted to play the drums again or something. Like, he's the stage door Johnny who fell in love with a vaudevillian. That's Grizzly Gramps. He's a bit of a weirdo. I don't know. Magic tricks, making kids laugh, that's not him. He's the man who doesn't let Grandma Grizzly Gramps speak when the kids are at her house, and he takes over a whole book. That's Grizzly Gramps. We've got feelings about Grizzly Gramps. Which is why Grizzly Gran, her page, she's presenting the cubs with a plate of cookies. She's their grandmother, yes. I like this. So I appreciate this next part. It says, there we go. Gran and Gramps live in a cute house made from the trunks of trees. The trunks of trees. So they do not live in a regular tree house. Their house, canonically, is comprised of multiple trunks from multiple trees. And I just want that to go on record. I want to go on record as saying the Grizzly Gramps and Gran live in a house made of several tree trunks. I'm just going to stop it at that. But it's a bit of lore. We've never had, I don't know what the term is I'm looking for. Confirmed. It's never been confirmed, but now we know. Grizzly Gramps and Gran, house made out of multiple tree trunks, which is kind of like me living in a house made out of multiple trees, which I guess I kind of do. So whatever. She bakes cookies and apple pie for them. She's also a wizard. We can't let that go. I don't know if you remember, but Grizzly Gran is also the one who can read. She can scry, and she has a crystal ball that's actually magic. And she's a magic user, bit of a witch. She's the town magic user. She's a fortune teller and a magic user. You know, she goes to church, but I don't know if she actually believes or if she believes like everything. She's like an earth magic type, or like every religion's true. But I think Grizzly Gran's are the ace in our hole. I think she was a fun villain. She was an actor. She was in love with two men at once. They fought for her. Grizzly Gran, the most interesting bear in Bear Country, by the way, bakes cookies and pie. She does so much more than that. Now, there is only one bear left in this book. It's an strange number of bears to cover, considering the vast cast available at Mike's hands. Who do we cover? I'll let you know right now. It's Fred. It's Cousin Fred. It's sort of an odd final, because listen to this. Meet Cousin Fred. He's the Cubs' best friend. I mean, he's brother's best friend, but it just says he's the Cubs' best friend. He's not sister's best friend. Because that's Lizzie Bruin. He's the Cubs' best friend, and their cousin, too. Yeah, that's why he's Cousin Fred. He reads a lot. He's good at sports. Okay. The whole bear family loves each other very, very much. All right. And that's the end of the book. That's weird. So I would think that the final spread should have been like a cast photo of like the rest of the bears. And there's a bunch of other bears, too. There's, the ones actual factual and Cousin Fred and Trudy and all of them, Lizzie Bruin. Instead, we're just sort of like, oh, and then there's Fred. He doesn't even get the full spread because the last bit of it is just like, he reads a lot. He's good at sports. Anyway, that's everyone. We love them all. They all love each other. The end. Thanks so much. And that's Meet the Berenstain Bears. Is this a cute book? Yes. Is this a necessary book? I don't know. Is it a good guide to our characters? Absolutely not. It's not an encyclopedia. It's not. I think there's room in this book. I'm holding it right here. I think there's room for a book that's like that, like those like Star Wars cross-section books and stuff that have like a page devoted to each character and are long and in-depth and give you some history. I don't know who's going to write it. Me, maybe. I don't know. But something like that. But this is not it. If you're hoping for that, it's not it. But if you're hoping to introduce your kids to the characters of the Berenstain Bears and you feel like just reading them a book isn't going to cut it, I guess this will do. This is that. If you want to be like, who's Mama Bear? And you're like, it's the mama. If you don't believe me, here's a book that says it. Then yeah, this is the book for you. Otherwise, it's a hardback board book. It's a board book. It's a board book. There's no story. It's just the bears. It's cute, I guess. It's well illustrated. So kudos to that. It's got a funny picture of Honey Bear. Yeah, that's it. This is a short episode this week because I don't have a whole lot to say about Meet the Berenstain Bears other than that it's cute. It's a cute book. And we know now that Grizzly Gramps and Gran live in a house made of multiple tree trunks, which is interesting to me. Is it interesting to you? I don't know. But thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of this experiment. Maybe one day you can listen to the rest of my show because I don't know where those episodes are. Everything just disappeared. It's just gone. It's just gone. If I figure out a way to do it that won't take up all of my time, I'll try to fix things. But otherwise, this was the first episode of Deep in Bear Country. It's called Meet the Berenstain Bears. Mr. Berenstain Bears. So thank you so much. Listen to my other show. It's called It's Del Toro Time. And I'll see you all next time, Deep in Bear Country. I don't know. Goodbye.